everyone. Present here in our first ever podcast for today. We've been delayed for a while, a few days maybe, and here we are right now. And then, without further ado, our topic for today is all about the legislative framework and the laws for gender equality and the labor market. So before we dig deeper to that and proceed in our discussion, let me define a few words first. Uh, I've got three words to define, and the first word is legislative framework. And um,
What
what
is
is
legislative
legislative
framework?
framework?
So
So
legislative
legislative
framework
framework
is
is
it is
according
according
to
to
the
the
University
University
of
of
Northern
Northern
British
British
Columbia.
Columbia.
A
A
legislative
legislative
framework
framework
is
is
a
a
set
set
of
of
rules,
rules,
uh, laws
laws
that
that
supports a
supports a
particular
particular
matter.
matter.
And
And
secondly
secondly
is
is
the
the
gender
gender
equality.
equality.
So
So
the gender
gender
equality,
equality,
according to
according to
what
what
I
I
have
have
read in
read
the
the
Wikipedia,
Wikipedia
is
is
a
a
state
state
where
where
all
all
genders,
genders
regarding the
regarding the
gender,
gender,
all of
all of
us
us
share
share
the
the
same
same
resources
resources
and
and
protection
protection
and
and
policies.
policies.
And
And
lastly,
lastly,
the
the
labor
labor
market.
market.
So
So
this is
this is
according to
according to
Investopedia.
Investopedia.
Labor
Labor
market is
market is
also
also
called
called
job
job
market,
market,
in
in
which
which
supply and
supply and
demand
demand
is
is
exercised,
exercised,
which
which
the
the
employees
employees
provide
provide
supply
supply
and
and
the
the
employers
employers
provide
provide
the
the
demand.
demand.
So
So
as
as
that's
that's
all
all
said
said
and
and
done,
done,
so
so
let me
let me
start a
start a
question
question
for
for
Mr.
Mr.
Mikulog.
Mikulo.
What
What
is
is
legislative
legislative
framework
framework
in
in
the
the
labor
labor
for
for
gender
gender
equality in
equality
the
in the
labor
labor
market
market
for
for
you?
you?
Um,
Mr.
legislative
Mikulog?
legislative framework is promoting and supporting women's work requires a strong overall legislative framework that guarantees equality and non-discrimination, and that expressly provides for temporary special measures to redress historical and continuing disadvantage due to discrimination. That's all.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
thank
you.
you.
So,
So,
how
how
about you,
about you,
Mr.
Mr.
Sepe?
Sepe?
Any
Any
thoughts
thoughts
about the
about the
good
good
practice of
practice of
the legislative
legislative
framework?
framework?
Good
Good
practice.
practice.
In the
In the
case of
case of
these
these
fundamental
fundamental
norms
norms
which
which
are
are
derived
derived
from
from
international
international
instruments
instruments
such
such
as
as
the
the
CEDAW,
CEDAW,
ILO
ILO
Conventions
Convention
100
100
and 111,
111,
and the International
International
Covenant
Covenant
on
on
Economic and
and
Social
Social
and
and
Cultural
Cultural
Rights,
Rights,
1956,
1956,
and
and
1966, which
it
should
should
be
be
contained
contained
within a
within a
country's
country's
constitution.
constitution.
Legislative
Legislative
provisions
provisions
that
that
enable
enable
temporary
temporary
special measures
infrastructure
also
also
provide
provide
the
the
legal
local
basis
basis
for
for
affirmative
affirmative
action
action
plans
plans
that
that
gender
gender
is
is
mainstreaming.
mainstreaming.
Good
Good
practice
practice
includes
includes
legislative
legislative
definitions
definitions
that
that
specifically
specifically
cover
cover
direct
direct
and
and
indirect
indirect discrimination,
discrimination, sexual
sexual
harassment,
harassment,
and actions
terms
to
to
discrimination,
discrimination,
and
and
exclusive
exclusive
interference
interference
that
that
is an inherent
inherent
job
job
requirement.
requirement.
Finally,
Finally,
it is
it's
essential that
that
legislation
legislation
on
on
equality
equality
and
and
non-discrimination
non-discrimination
can
can
be
be
effectively
effectively
implemented.
implemented.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so
let's
let's
proceed.
proceed.
So,
So,
Mr.
Mr.
Dumalag,
Dumalag,
any
any
addition?
addition?
So,
So,
the Philippines
Philippines
has
has
ratified
ratified
34
34
ILO
ILO
conventions
conventions
and
and
is
it's
party
party
to
to
all of
all
the
of the
fundamental
fundamental
United
United
Nations
Nations
human
human
rights
rights
covenants
covenants
and
and
conventions.
conventions.
The
The
country's
country's
constitution
constitution
has
has
embedded
embedded
these
these
rights in
rights in
Section
Section
3,
3,
Article
Article
8,
8,
Bill of
Bill of
Rights,
Rights,
and
and
in
in
Section
Section
14,
14,
Article
Article
2,
2,
which
which
ensures
ensures
fundamental
fundamental
equality
equality
of
of
women
women
and
and
men
men
before the
before the
law.
law.
Article
Article
3,
3,
Chapter
Chapter
1
1
of the
of the
Labor
Labor
Code,
Code,
as
as
well
well
as
as
Republic
Republic
Acts
Acts
6725,
6725,
7192,
7192,
7877,
7877,
and
and
8551
8551,
all
all
provide
provide
for
for
fundamental
fundamental
human
human
rights
rights
protection,
protection,
including
including
anti-discrimination
anti-discrimination
provisions,
provisions,
and they
and they
ensure
ensure
fundamental
fundamental
equality,
equality,
prohibition of
prohibition of
sexual
sexual
harassment,
harassment,
and
and
temporary
temporary
special
special
measures.
measures.
The
The
Philippines
Philippines
Anti-Sexual
Anti-Sexual
Harassment
Harassment
Act
Act
number
number
7877 of
7877 of
8
8
February
February
1995
1995
is an
is an
example of
example of
good
good
legislative
legislative
practice.
practice.
Okay, very well said. So thank you all for the explanation. And let's proceed to you, Mr. Entero. Please explain why good legislative practice promotes woman access to work. Mr. Entero? Hello? Mr. Entero?
Good legislative practice promote women's access to work, combines special measures protected by law with legislation that regulates public and private employment agencies and addresses precarious and uncertain work, outsourcing, and short-term contracts.
Is that all? Okay, let's proceed. Mr. Dumalag, any thoughts about what Mr. Entero said?
In addition to what Romar Intero said, good practice legislation refers to phases of employment process other than just the hiring and termination stages, including recruitment, shortlisting, interviewing, selection, and condition of employment. Good practice also includes legislation, rules, good practice, or self-regulation by employers with regard to gender discrimination to enable a better understanding of the stereotyping of women and to promote women's access to employment.
Fantastic. So now let's proceed to the employment and recruitment services. So Mr. Sepe, kindly explain what is recruitment and employment services.
It is a pivotal tool to promote women's access to work, which is a strong and effective employment agency framework comprising a blend of efficient public employment agencies and regulated private fee-charging employment agencies.
Any additional thought, Mr. Mikulob?
All such agencies should be required to operate without discrimination on the basis of sex. Agencies should have access to information about a country's overall employment strategy, including its trade and investment priorities. Employment agencies can also be linked to information and counseling for workers on vocational training opportunities and can especially target women. That's all.
Okay, very informative. So, Mr. Dumalag, what can you add? What can you say about that?
In the Philippines, the public employment service offices mainly operate as centers of those seeking employment opportunities and function as a referral and information centers for job exchange purposes. Nonetheless, the recruitment and placement of workers is undertaken mainly by private companies and industries, either through private placement agencies or direct hiring. Job fairs and career placements likewise are driven mainly by employers and private entities.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Dumalag again, can you define what is short-term contract?
Precarious and uncertain employment increasingly affects women access to work and their conditions of employment in all countries. Good legislative practice should clarify ambiguous outsourced employment relationships and should address the use of short-term contracts when work is ongoing rather than seasonal or genuinely intermittent.
Okay, so, Mr. Entero, who do you, where do you use this type of contract?
Short-term contracts are commonly used to avoid or reduce an employer's obligation to provide benefits and protections that apply to permanent employees, such as right to holidays, annual leave, social security benefits, and termination rights. Short-term
Okay,
contracts can also be used as means to discriminate against women who marry and or become pregnant. At the same time, challenge when choosing precarious work is to balance employers' legitimate need for flexibility with workers' equally legitimate demands for stability and protection.
Okay. So, Mr. Mikulob, any additional thoughts about that?
Um, the use of short-term contracts appears to be prevalent in large companies or industries in the Philippines and includes workers who are engaged as contractors through external services providers. These independent providers usually maintain their employees as casual or contract workers. These workers typically are women whose terms of employment expire before the 5-month mark is reached, because a longer contract would require additional payments to be made, as well as workers' access to benefits and the rights of the permanent employee.
Okay. So, Mr. Mikulob, again, kindly explain what is limiting constraints on work.
A number of constraints, including reproductive issues and disability, can limit women's capacity to undertake work. However, the present section focuses on the two major constraints related to legislation and policy. First, women can be constrained by family responsibilities, lack of access to reproductive health services, lack of access to parental leave, and poor availability of quality. Affordable childcare services near their homes or workplace. Second, self-employed women can be constrained by a lack of access to land, inheritance right, credit, and financial services. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Good job right there. So, Mr. Dumalag, how is family responsibilities connected to our topic right now?
Women's labor market participation is constrained by the time consuming domestic and care responsibilities. Women often face a triple burden of caring for family, attending to domestic chores, and bearing and rearing children. These constraints begin during childhood and continue throughout the life cycle. Women often lack access to fertility control information and service that would enable them to plan if and when to have children. They are also constrained by the time spent on repetitive, tedious domestic work. This is often linked in inadequate public infrastructure for potable water, electricity, fuel, and roads, as well as the availability of quality, affordable, convenient wildcare services.
Okay. So, any additional thoughts, Mr. Rentero? Mr. Rentero?
These issues can be addressed through a combination of policy and legislation. 55. The legislative practice
Okay.
includes legislative measures to promote and protect women's reproductive health, and rights, and ensure that women have access to reproductive health services. This should include access to information and service for younger women in order to reduce unwanted teenage pregnancies.
Okay, thank you. So, what about you, Mr. Sepe?
In addition, legislative efforts are required to enable both men and women to reconcile work responsibilities with family obligations. Such measures may also help shift the burden of care, which presently falls largely on women, so that it's shared more equally with men. Granting of paternity leave, for example, can assist with the distribution of care responsibilities. Systems of parental leave differ significantly among countries in terms of eligibility, payment, duration, transferability, and the age of the child to be cared of. In some countries, long paternal leave may be seen as a way of providing care for young children while reducing the need for child care services, which can be relatively expensive. What about you, Mr. Nicolab?
What about you, Mr. Mikolo? What can you add?
Provision of child care facilities is also an important measure to help parents who wish to access work or continue to work and can help prevent discrimination against women on whom child care responsibilities tend to fall. Availability of child care facilities enables both parents to combine family obligation with work responsibilities and participation in public life. The prime responsibility to ensure the development of child care services should lie with the government. Through this does not necessarily mean that the government itself must provide these services. There is a wide
Okay.
variation in government approaches to
Mm.
child care. One good practice example is the Netherlands Child Care Act in 2005, amended in 2007, which requires child care costs to be split equally among employers, working parents, and the government. This benefit is not limited to women workers, but also applies whenever there are two working parents. Other government must work to integrate workers' needs into child care policies and programs. However, transposing standards from developed countries may be unrealistic for many developing countries. Nevertheless, the provision of basic child care may improve the situation for children at risk, and low-cost community-based initiatives can be a positive effect on child development indicators. Establishing and strictly enforcing minimum standards, combined with government financial support, is a good approach for developing countries. That's all.
Okay, thank you. So, as I've said earlier, I'm learning so much from you guys for today. And then, even though I can't understand a few words you just said, and it's the same. Our podcast has come to an end. So, thank you very much for participating for today, and see you next time, probably.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
See you
Thank
guys.
you.
Salamat, Dor.